Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jordan from Just Tesla, and today I'm going to try and do something very exciting. Today, I'm going to try and order the Model Y. The Model 3 is amazing, but it's not perfect, and it's close to being perfect. What is the problem with the Model 3 in terms of the car? What is the problem? Now, it's not tiny, it's not a small car. If I had one criticism, it would be that I'd like a little bit more space. Now, obviously, the Model 3 is the smallest car Tesla make, so it's not a valid criticism to make, really. It's not like, oh, they don't do bigger cars. But the next biggest car we could get was an S or an X. And at the moment, I'm not really looking to buy an S or X. I want to get that new, fresh interior. I want that fresh feel. I want something that's familiar, like the Model 3. And I don't want to pay through my teeth for it. So the Model Y is what I've been told, quite literally, a bigger version of the Model 3. Now, I think it actually looks better than the Model 3 in some ways. But it looks like there's a lot more space inside the vehicle. And for me, that is where, if I had one complaint about the Model 3, that would be it. I just could do with a little bit more space. Now, that's not to say the Model 3 is tiny. It's not by any means. It's not a small car. It's absolutely adequate for most people. But because we're filmmakers, we carry a lot of gear around with us, and we could just do with that extra room in the Model 3. So the Model Y is a very hot prospect for that. And that is why today I want to try and order the Model Y. So we've all seen it. The Model Y is here. The Model Y is being delivered. And I know I'm not the only one in the UK right now who is jealous, who has got a bit of envy about these guys getting their Model Y. I've driven all the cars now. I've driven the S, the X, and the 3, and I've had them all for about a week each. And for me, the S wasn't really my kind of thing. It's a nice car. It wasn't really my kind of thing. The X and the 3, however, are. And if those two, we could mash them together and make a car, I would snap it up straight away. And that's pretty much what the Model Y looks like, in my opinion. If you look at the rear end of the Model Y, it looks like an X. And if you move around to the front of the Y, it looks like a 3. And then the interior of the Y is the 3, which is the one I prefer. I prefer the interior much over the Model S and the Model X. The interior is so much fresher, so much cleaner. It's like a breath of fresh air. Which Model Y will we be attempting to order? And I think the Standard Range Plus will be great for most, but on this occasion, we are going to be going for the performance model. I'm really excited. We've got the Standard Range Plus for the Model 3, and it was always our plan to have a city run-around car that we could just do local journeys with. So the Model 3 Standard Range Plus is more than adequate and perfect for that. But we did want something with a bit more range and something a bit more exciting. So firstly, let's head over to the Tesla.com website where the Model Y form is, and let's go on there and see if we can configure something on the UK website. So I guess it will be something like the Model 3. Let's go down here, click on Model Y, then click configure. Hold on a sec. Where's the order button? Visit store. I'm kidding. I already knew this. Sorry for the terrible acting. So I'm going to go and see if I can order over the phone right now and see if I can ring into the branch and store and see if I can order over the phone. So it says visit a store. Let's see if we can visit a store and order, and let's see if I can make a phone call and order one right now. Okay, so give me a second. I've just called into the store to order a brand spanking new Model Y in the UK. So here is the lowdown of the Model Y in the UK. Directly from the Tesla sales team. This is all the information that they gave me. Although reservations may have been open, there are currently no ways of reserving, ordering, configuring a Model Y in the UK. None at all. There's no way of doing a reservation. It doesn't matter if you visit store. It doesn't matter if you phone up. It doesn't matter if you find a workaround online. There is no way of making a reservation as it currently stands for the Model Y in the UK. So if you head to store, like the website suggests, you'll just be getting a test drive of the Model 3. This is what the sales team have told me. You'll just be getting a test drive of the Model 3. Now, the reason they're doing test drives for the Model 3 when you're interested in a Model Y is for the new customer, the customer who's not experienced a Tesla yet. And I mean, I'm guessing they're hoping to sell some of the Model 3s as well. But they're basically saying, on the phone, they said to me, the Model Y is exactly like the Model 3. It's just 10% bigger, blah, blah, blah. So it's basically, that is what they'll do. That if you go to the store, you're wasting your time unless you do want a test drive in a Model 3. He said he can't give me a date and he doesn't want to speculate, but it's not as long as people think. Now, this is what the Tesla sales guy said to me. He said, it's not as long of a wait as people think. And again, I pushed and prodded a little bit, and he says, yeah, we can't give any dates and everything, but it's not as long as people think. So if that's any indicator, I mean, I think that's fantastic if they're saying that. I did mention that we were Cybertruck reservation holders, and he says the Y will be here a lot earlier than the Cybertruck, which is good, I guess, for if you want a Y. But I think what's happening at the moment is Tesla in the past have had huge problems with over-promising and under-delivering. So they would say a time like the 2020 Roadster, and they would under-deliver. And it wrecked the stock price. It didn't give Tesla a very good name. And I think what we're seeing a lot of now is they've switched plans and they're under-promising and over-delivering. So I think we can hope to see the Model Y arriving on UK shores a lot sooner than we initially thought. They thought that the Model Y would deliver late 2020 in the USA, and we're at the start of 2020 and Model Ys are already delivering. So this is Tesla under-promising, over-delivering again. This is what they are. This is the new thing I think they're doing. They're trying to do with everything that they do. But here's the interesting thing, and I've noticed this with the 3 this past month. So with the 3, we pre-ordered the Model 3, and it took 2 months to come. After our Model 3 had arrived, I then went onto the Model 3 inventory on Tesla.com, and there were pages and pages of Model 3s. So, and this is how they want to operate. They don't want to have people waiting in a line like a reservation. What they want is an abundance of stock, an abundance of inventory, so people can just order and get the car straight away. That is what they're trying to do with the Model Y. That's what he said to me. But their plan is to have a large inventory of Tesla Model Ys that people could just go online and order straight away. So can you imagine that? It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen a queue for when people in the States buy a pair of Air Jordans or a pair of LeBron's basketball shoes, but they queue around the whole block, or new Apple products for that matter. Maybe it's going to be like that for the Model Y. Like everyone's going to be waiting for the drop and we're all going to try and purchase it as quickly as possible. Who knows? Like I say, this could all be speculation from the sales team, but he seemed extremely confident in what he was saying. And I think they've got a little bit more knowledge on those sales team and those delivery centers than us, obviously. They do get passed down some messages from higher up. And I think they do know what they have some information on what's going to be happening. So with all that being said, it doesn't look like we've got long to wait. I think by the time we have ordered a Model Y, we probably would have also ordered the X and the S. So recently I've been driving the Model Y, the Model X and the Model S around, and it's convinced me to purchase used versions of those cars. The Model X had a really good impression on me. I'm going to be dropping a video on that soon. So one of the largest recent emerging markets in the car industry was the crossover, the SUV crossover, like a small SUV. And all the car companies have been taking huge advantage of it. So you had Range Rover making the Evoque. You had companies like Jaguar jumping in on the hype. The Nissan Qashqai was one of the best-selling cars of the past few years. And people are really buying into this crossover. So where did Tesla fit in that? They had the Model X, which is a huge SUV. They had the Model S, which is not an SUV. They had the Model 3, which is obviously not an SUV. So they were missing that from their arsenal of vehicles. And with it being a very, very high-selling vehicle, they produced the Model Y. So the Model Y is perfect for that market. In fact, they're even producing a vehicle with 7 seats at a squeeze. So most crossovers don't have 7 seats. I think people are underestimating the sales that Tesla are going to get through the Model Y. I think on launch day, it was a bit of a disappointment for people. Obviously, Tesla's 3 vehicles that they've released so far and their other launches of vehicles are so different, so game-changing, that when the Model Y came out and people saw that it was very, very similar to the Model 3, they were kind of like disappointed. It was kind of just like fizzled out a little bit. It wasn't up to their normal scratch, their normal... it wasn't the Roadster release or the Cybertruck release or the X release. It wasn't the same as that. They're fine-tuning themselves as a car company. The people expected this from them. They expected this from them. And I think people want to, like the Cybertruck, be kind of like gobsmacked by Tesla. That's the sort of company Tesla is. The Model Y, at its price point, for a luxury brand like Tesla, comparatively marking up against companies like Mercedes and BMW in that crossover SUV range, it's fairly priced. It's a better vehicle, in my opinion. Faster, safer, looks fantastic. It's got the status symbol that people want, the badge on it. And it's electric. And at the moment, we're in this point now where the consumer is being conscious of the choices they're making. They are being conscious of purchasing electric vehicles. They are being conscious of, I can charge my car at home. People are starting to realize that electric vehicles aren't a burden. In fact, they're easier to use. And here's the difference between Tesla and all the car companies. Every car Tesla makes gets sold. Every car that Tesla makes gets bought. They're not sitting on lots waiting to be bought. They're not at dealerships waiting to be purchased. It is so ridiculous how fast the Model 3s sold that I saw in the UK. So ridiculous. Like, I was refreshing that page and cars were just disappearing. We're talking about cars, 40, 50, 60 grand. I'm excited for it. So as quickly as they make them, as quickly as they will sell them. So please, 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 Tesla, get them over to the UK as soon as possible. I think we could see the Model Y coming onto UK shores in 2021. Now, it could be the mid 2021, end of 2021, but I do think it is possible. They're ahead of schedule. They're producing ahead of schedule. Now, obviously, there's some issues at the moment are going to affect the production of cars from Tesla in China, and it looks like maybe the United States is going to get hit by this whole coronavirus. I mean, Tesla seem to still be producing. The China factory seems to be up and running at the moment, no problems. And they still seem to be delivering cars, and the Model Y is getting delivered across the United States as we speak. So, all that being said, I think that by the end of 2021, we'd start to see Model Ys being delivered within the UK. At the very least, I think we would have heard news on when they're coming to the UK. By the end of 2020, we'll hear news of when they're going to be here in the UK. I'm super excited. I don't know about you guys, what you plan on doing. I know a lot of the Model 3 owners are considering it. What are you guys thinking? What are you, people who've experienced the Model 3, do you need the extra space? Is the Model 3 enough for you? I know it is for most people. Are you looking at getting the Model Y? If so, what are you getting? What one are you going to be ordering? Like I say, we're trying to get the performance model. I want something that can do over 300 miles, so that's going to be cool. The future for Tesla looks very, very good. Now, if they can get through all these issues at the moment with the economy, it looks like we're going to have a little mini crash going off, or maybe even some sort of recession going off. If they can fight through this, the future looks very bright for Tesla. Thanks for watching, guys. This is just my thoughts and feelings on the Model Y. I'm so sorry I couldn't show you myself ordering the Model Y. It's just the way it is at the moment in the UK. You can't order it. As soon as we can, we will be ordering. I'll take you through the process. Slightly frustrating, but also great to hear about the way they're doing it. What's your thoughts on it all? Do you think it's good for the company? Do you think it's bad for the company? If you're thinking about buying a Model 3, I know a lot of you guys have bought Model 3s recently. I've had a lot of comments about you guys buying Model 3s. That is super cool. Thank you so much for supporting a company that is making a change. It's cool. Thank you so much for letting me know about your reservations. I think it's wicked to hear about. So congratulations to you guys. Can't wait for you to get your cars because it is one of the best things ever. And if you're thinking about ordering a Model 3, please use the link in the description. It helps support the channel. It's the only way I get anything from the channel at the moment, and that is free supercharger miles, which I will not turn my nose up because it is fantastic. It means we can travel around. I get 1,000 free supercharging miles. You would get 1,000 free supercharging miles for using the link. And yeah, it really helps support the channel. Anyway, all right, catch you in a bit.